Hey there. So if you're dreaming of becoming a teacher, you've probably heard of the CTET exam, right? And yeah, it can feel like this massive, intimidating hurdle. But today, we're going to look at a totally different way to tackle it, a way that turns all that stress into an actual adventure. Seriously.
So let me ask you something. Think back to the last huge exam you had to study for. Remember those all-nighters, the pressure, the stress? Ugh. Well, what if I told you it doesn't have to be like that? What if getting ready for this massive step in your career felt less like you were being judged
And more like you're starting this amazing, inspiring journey where you're the hero? That's exactly the idea behind a story-driven way of studying. And that's what we're going to dive into right now.
Okay, so every good story needs a challenge, right? And for this one, it's the CTET, the Central Teacher Eligibility Test. And let's be honest, for so many people, it feels like this giant mountain they just have to climb to get where they want to go.
And look, if you feel that way, you're not alone. That feeling is totally valid. It is a high-stakes exam. It can feel super lonely, super stressful. I mean, the amount of stuff you have to learn, plus all that pressure to pass, it's a perfect recipe for anxiety.
But imagine you had a different kind of map for climbing that mountain. Not just a boring list of rules and facts, but something more like a storybook, a guide that actually gets the emotional part of the journey.
And this right here, this shows the difference perfectly. The old way is, well, it's isolating, right? It's just you, a mountain of books, and you're just waiting to burn out. But this storybook way completely flips that. Instead of isolation, you get community. Instead of just memorizing facts, you actually understand them. And instead of stress, you build resilience. It's a total shift from just trying to survive the prep to actually thriving.
So you're probably wondering, okay, how does that even work? Well, think about it like this. Instead of just trying to cram dry facts about, say, child psychology, you learn it through a story with characters you can actually relate to. So you're getting practical advice, but it's mixed in with emotional support. You see these characters struggle with the same things you do, and you watch them figure it out, which in turn builds your confidence.
All right, so every good adventure needs a map, and that's our first practical step. Let's get into the nitty-gritty and see how this story approach helps you figure out the actual CTET syllabus.
First things first, what exactly is the CTET? It's basically the big national-level exam that determines if you're eligible to be a teacher for classes 1 through 8 in central government schools. It's all about making sure there's a certain standard of quality and skill for new teachers. Now, one of the first choices you have to make on this journey is which path to take. You've got two options. If you want to teach the little ones, classes 1 to 5, then you're looking at paper I. But if you're aiming for the older kids, classes 6 to 8, that's going to be paper 2. A lot of the core stuff is the same, child development, languages, but paper 2 gets more specific, asking you to focus on either math and science or social studies.
Okay, so you've picked your path, now it's time to start the climb. But listen, this isn't about just powering through with brute force. No way. This is about being smart and using study habits that you can actually stick with so you don't run out of steam halfway up that mountain.
And here's a really simple but super powerful way to do it. Forget those endless cramming sessions. Instead, think in study blocks. It's 4 steps. 1. Set a really clear, simple goal for that session. Just one topic. 2. Test yourself on it. Don't just reread your notes. 3. Go over your mock tests and really figure out where you went wrong. And 4, and this is huge, take a real break. Let your brain recharge before you go again.
And this is where that storybook idea really shines. You hear about these fancy study techniques like spaced repetition. That's where you review stuff at just the right time to lock it into your long-term memory. Well, instead of just reading a dry definition, you see the characters in the story actually use it. You see them try it, maybe mess it up at first, and then really get the hang of it. It makes it so much easier for you to learn and apply it too.
This leads us to something that is so important but gets ignored all the time. Your mindset. Because this whole journey, it's not just about what you know. It's mental, it's emotional. Preparing in a holistic way is absolutely crucial.
Just take a second and really read this. Let it sink in. This quote is pretty much the heart of this entire idea. It's a reminder to separate who you are from what your score is. Your worth is about the effort, the passion, and the growth you experience on your way to becoming a teacher. That's what really matters.
So what does this holistic prep actually look like on a day-to-day basis? Well, check this out. Focused study is less than half of the pie. That's wild, right? Look how big that rest and sleep slice is. And then you have actual, scheduled time for hobbies and just connecting with people. These things aren't distractions from your studying. They are a critical part of a strategy that actually works in the long run. And this is so key. You're not supposed to climb this mountain all by yourself. The storybook shows the characters leaning on their people, mentors, friends, family. Think of that network as your safety rope. It's there to catch you if you slip and to cheer you on as you keep going. Okay, so you've mapped your path, you've been studying smart, you've taken care of your mind. Now, it's time. You're at the summit. Exam day. So what happens now? And what's the real reward for all this?
When exam day arrives, your job changes. It's not about learning anymore. It's about performing. The most important thing is to just trust all the hard work you've already done. It helps to have a little ritual, you know? Maybe a few deep breaths or putting on your favorite pump-up song, something to keep you centered. And when it's all over, please do this one crucial thing. Celebrate your effort. You did it. You finished the journey.
And that brings us to the ultimate point of all of this. Yes, passing the CTET is the goal, of course, but it's not the real price. The real reward is who you become on the journey. You'll be more resilient, more confident, more self-aware, and that is what you'll take with you into your classroom for the rest of your career.
So, I want to leave you with this question to think about. If you really truly believed that the journey was the destination, that the learning and the growing was the whole point, how would that change the way you face the next big challenge that comes your way?